Hello, Ashley.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Could you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience in HR, please?
Yeah, so I'm Ashley. I'm the director of APHR Consulting services. We're a small local company that helps small businesses and candidates in the HR world.
Oh, wow. Can you tell a little bit more about your company?
Yeah, so APHR was set up in 2024. So it's a very, very new company. We have a trident of support, so we support in 3 different areas. So we support employers, deal and navigate through the HR world with new changes coming up in employment law.
Yeah.
We help candidates go through the recruitment world, essentially, where they are needing support, looking for new roles, career guidance, CV building, cover letter writing, and interview preparation.
Oh, wow.
And finally, we deal with recruitment. So I'd like to say we're probably one of the cheapest recruiters, external recruiters in the UK. And we understand that recruitment isn't just finding a CV, it's dealing with it from end to end, so building job descriptions always.
Can you please tell us what are first steps they should take when they start the job searching?
Yeah, so the UK job market currently is very saturated. On average, you're probably seeing around 49 applications per role.
Wow.
That gets placed. In recruitment, it's very much about being quick going through CVs. When you're getting so many applications for a job, you need to be quick going through. So on average, in the first sift, recruiters will probably spend anywhere between 5 and 10 seconds just looking at your CV.
Wow.
In that time frame, you can decide whether somebody's put enough effort into that. And when you're looking at a CV, if you don't put effort into selling yourself, then what effort are you going to put into the role? So for somebody who's starting their career search, you've got to get the basics right. Get a good CV layout. You've got to build that, make it really scream and shout about yourself. Because in that first 10 seconds, you want them to learn more about you, which is going to get you from the first sift into the second sift.
But I remember when I started to do my first CV, and I had a couple of recommendations about it, and everyone said it should be simple and not really much in your CV.
You want a fine balance, so you don't want it completely barren, so just no information, just a white page with some black writing.
Yes.
But you don't want it colourful, different fonts. You don't want it to be an oversell. So you want it to be a good professional layout with factual information, which is easy to read.
All right, thank you. What documents or permits are essential for Ukrainians to legal work in the UK?
So most Ukrainians are going to be here on one of the Ukrainian schemes. So having that in place gives you the full entitlement to work in the UK. You will also need a valid identification, like a passport.
Yeah.
And you'll also need a national insurance number. When you apply, they will give you a temporary national insurance number to start with, and then that will become then a permanent national insurance number. Up until January this year, you needed a BRP, but from January of 2025, it's an e-visa with your share code. So essentially, you'll give a new employer that share code number, they will search that online and it will tell them what rights to work you have.
CVs in UK often look really different from CVs which we use in Ukraine. What are the key things employers expect to see in a good UK style CV?
So for a UK CV, there are 5 different elements you want to include within that CV. So you want your contact information, a short professional summary, work experience, key skills, and then a professional layout.
Okay, I also hear about cover letter.
Yep.
Should we add it?
Yeah, so with the cover letter, it all depends on the level of role that you're applying for. So if you're looking at a basic or entry-level role, 9 times out of 10 it's not going to be required. If you're looking towards a mid-management or senior level role, then yes, they may ask for a separate cover letter.
Right, and also, what about like Ukrainian people? We have so many experience in different areas, and what kind of CV should be? So it should be one which cover everything, or like different?
Yeah, so what I would suggest is you to create a CV on the type of industry that you're looking at. So if you have a CV that covers a lot of information about your construction experience, that type of CV is going to be ever so slightly different to what you would need for an office-based role.
All right, yes, of course, makes sense. Thank you. How important is the level of English for finding a job in UK?
It's all going to depend on the role that you're applying for. If you're going to be a customer-facing role, whether that be on the phone or in retail, it's going to be very important. But there are types of roles. We have a client who's in manufacturing, and the level of English that you need is just very basic. So long as you understand sort of very basic instructions, especially fire evacuation, you can read signs that tell you about warnings and dangers. In them level roles, it's okay. But obviously, the more customer facing or the more senior level type of role you are, the English level is going to need to be increased.
Where can Ukrainians look for reliable job opportunities? Could you recommend maybe some useful website or organization maybe?
Yeah, there's going to be a different variant of where you would need to apply for. Indeed is a very, very good one. It covers a broad space along with the likes of Monster Jobs and CV Library. If you're looking at a recruitment agency, I would spend a little bit of time researching that agency because each one is going to have their own speciality. So for example, there's going to be construction, there's going to be driving, there's going to be warehouse and office based as well. So do that research on where you want to go. For websites, you can't go wrong with Indeed and CV Library.
Yeah, but I hear like more chance to find job is if you found person who can help you with it.
Having a good network always helps. So I think one of the first things that needs to be done is create a LinkedIn account. Build your LinkedIn account. If you can't do it yourself or you need help and assistance, there are external supports in different candidate services that can help you build that and become attracted. In the instance where your online profile is a lot higher, people are going to come and find you. You're going to be then headhunted. If you've got that social media platform in a professional sense built with the information that they need, you can be found for work and you won't even have to look yourself.
Oh wow! So how often people can look in for us in LinkedIn?
Especially, maybe not so much now where the job market is so saturated, because for them to go out and headhunt is extra work. There's extra cost to that, so you'll have to have a certain level of subscription to LinkedIn, for example, or subscription to Indeed.
Many people worry about discrimination or unfair treatment at work. What rights and protections do employees have in UK?
So there are many different types of laws, acts, governance and regulations that protect employees nowadays. You've got the Equality Act from 2010, which covers all types of discrimination from race, gender, sexual orientation, etc. Then you've got different regulations such as your right to fair pay and contract. You've got your protection from unfair dismissal. So there are a lot of acts and protection for employees now.
Right. If, for example, people already in difficult situation, what they should do?
So your first protocol is speaking to a manager. If that's not applicable, so maybe you feel it's the manager that's causing this type of discrimination, your HR department would be your first protocol. If the company doesn't have HR, do some research on the Equality Act just to ensure that what you're experiencing does cover under that. You may be able to speak to Citizens Advice, who may be able to give you a little bit of guidance. But if you feel that you are being discriminated against, ACAS is going to be your number one port of call.
Okay, can we, for example, call in your company and ask about support? Yeah,
there's to an extent we can support. There's going to be areas that we can't be involved in. So for example, if you're going through a disciplinary procedure that you fear may account to discrimination, we can't be involved in that. We can guide and we can give you information and give you advice on where to go, but we can't be involved in that process.
Right, but who can be involved?
So that will be an ACAS. So once it's determined that it would be, so you'd have a conciliation with ACAS, you'd go through everything, you'd provide them with the evidence that you've got. They would then make a decision whether or not that would or wouldn't fall under that act. If it does, they will then take it from there. So they will become the point of contact for the employer, which they will discuss. This is a situation that we're in. What they will try to do is work with mediation. So they'll be involved and they'll be sort of a mediator between yourself and the company, and they will come to a resolution. If not, then it will go to an employment tribunal.
All right, thank you. I hope people will not need it, but
Me too.
everything possible, yeah. What advice would you give Ukrainians who want not just found the job, but also to build a career in UK?
Yeah, so you've got to get the basics right. You start with your CV, your social platform. You can reach out to external candidate support systems like ours, where we will help you build that baseline, and we'll give you the support that you need to get through to recruiters, to employers, to get that position. English, it's certain levels of employment. The levels of English don't really matter, like we talked about earlier on, but obviously as you grow and develop into that role, that level's going to need to increase and become better for that level of communication. Yeah, there are a load of external courses online. A lot of them are free. So for example, there are a lot of free Excel courses that are going to teach you the basics of Excel.
If you, for example, get some certificate from free course, does it work?
Is it going to be a negative?
Right.
If you get a CV, two identical CVs, one says that you've gone out on your own to grow and develop your knowledge, learning the system, and then the same CV that doesn't have it, it's not going to put you in any negative. It's only going to help you going forward. The online ones that are free are going to be the very basics. So you're going to be able to learn about Office, Microsoft Office suites, for example. You can learn about different developments and platforms and skills, like very entry level. Obviously, the higher skill level they go, costs will then be involved within that process as well.
But it means you don't have to go to uni or college to get this qualification. You can just go online? Yeah,
there are a lot of online different platforms that help and do this. A good one that is always good to have is health and safety or first aid in the workplace. These ones, they're the type of things that are going to stand you out between the other candidates. But obviously there is a cost to these courses.
All right, okay. Could you tell us, please, more about your company?
Yeah, of course. So APHR is a very new company. It was established in 2024. We set up focusing on three different elements of what we call the trident. So we've got the employer service, where we'll help navigate employers and businesses through HR. A lot of companies, aren't set up with this in mind. People have set up companies that they want to grow, develop, and earn money. They don't want to be focusing on the admin tasks of HR.
If Ukrainian open like small business and there are only like 2-3 people, does it make sense to get like HR support?
100%. When you're looking at these elements of HR within a business, there needs to be consistency. You need to have the stability there of your handbooks, your policies, your procedures, your employment contracts. Any issues that could come up are going to rely on these heavily. So having them in place, from the start, it puts you in a good set of light. It's always good being prepared rather than reactive.
All right. Yes. Okay.
The second element that we focus on, the second part of the trident, is candidate services. So we'll help candidates through the open waters of looking for a new position.
Yeah.
We can help them through the basics of CV writing, cover letter writing, your LinkedIn profile optimization, going through your bespoke career guidance, and then interview prep being the final stages of it. But we'll guide you through from the very, very start to the very, very end, and hopefully then you being in a new position.
Oh wow, cool.
And then the final element of what we focus on then is recruitment. We focus on complete end-to-end recruitment, from the very, very start of creating a job description and a person specification, through to posting the advert, sifting the CVs and applications for you, and then all the way through to the end of putting a person in place in that role. And we strive to be not only one of the best at what we do, but one of the cheapest as well.
Oh wow. So for example, if I need, for example, assistant here for my work, I can just come to you and ask, can you please help me to find?
Yeah, we'll have a half an hour, 45-minute meeting to find out exactly what you want and the exact type of person that you're going to want for this position. We'll go through any sort of skill sets they're going to need, and what you need to fill that role perfectly. We'll go away, we'll put a job advert together, we'll send it off to you then to make sure you're happy with the content that we've put inside. Then we'll place that advert for you. When the applications come in, we'll do the initial sift based on that person's specification, and then we'll send you 4 or 5 CVs who we think are the top quality of applicants for you to then interview and decide who you want.
Oh wow, life can be much more easier with you.
Yeah, we take every bit of stress away. We thrive on making sure HR is affordable, understandable, available, and there's no jargon. We don't want to fill your information, give you all the information full of acronyms and different types of. You just want to understand, what do I need to do?
Yes.
How do I do it? Done. That's all you need to do.
Oh, it's amazing, because before I was thinking HR, it's like seems really, really hard, and
it can be a minefield. If you don't do it right, you're firefighting just to try and fix everything that has happened in the past, which is why we always say, in recruitment, you want to be proactive rather than reactive.
Oh, wow, yes, thank you so much.
No
Thank you for joining and explain everything, and I'm sure it will be helpful not only for Ukrainian, but of course firstly for Ukrainian
of course,
people.
No problem at all. If anyone wants more information, they can visit our website.
Oh, amazing. I will put all information about your company and everything. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, and finally, could you share one tip or maybe motivation message for Ukrainians who just starting their professional journey here?
Relax. Yeah. Take control of your job search. Make sure the information's there. Get the basics in place first. Every small step that you take is a step towards your goal, whether it's this big or this big. So every step you take, you're getting closer to that goal that you want. You just relax in your job search. The role that you're looking for will come eventually. It's just gaining them skills then to be able to get through that interview process. But the skills that you've got, that you've brought over to the UK, they're valued here. It's just about selling yourself to employers.
Wow, thank you so much.
No problem.